What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and as a love coach, this is one of my favorite topics. Every year we do a show on enlightened partnerships. What does that mean? Well, first of all, enlightenment is clearly a process. So to be in an enlightened partnership, it's a process of awakening. And we're going to hear from a lot of wonderful people that are truly in enlightened partnerships. Now, some of those partnerships might be couples, like one of my favorite couples, Donny and Heather. I love both of these people a lot. And as enlightened partners, they have created a retreat site in Maui. They create music, they create journeys, they take people to Egypt. It's amazing how they work together, both as a romantic couple, but also creating amazing things in the world. And then there's the kind of enlightened partnership where you meet people a little bit older in life that becomes your romantic partner, and you enhance both of yourselves. And I've known Karina for a very long time, and it's been amazing watching how she has blossomed in her love with Darren, and how Darren has blossomed with such an amazing woman by when he's not hitting her. No, this is not the show on domestic violence. This is the show on enlightened partnership. No, they're a beautiful, beautiful couple. And there's that wonderful example. And another wonderful couple that are with us, and you, of course, have seen them on the show many times, Anthony and Renee. And there's kind of a double entendre to their enlightened partnership. There's a partnership as a couple that live together and do life together. They channel together, but they also have created an enlightened partnership with the most amazing being, Mary Magdalene. And they just wrote a book about that. So we are going to learn all about their brand new, hot off the press book about Mary Magdalene, Magdalene's journey. So we're excited about that. Now, not all of us are blessed to be in such a beautiful coupleship as the three couples you just saw. But it doesn't mean that we can't have enlightened partnerships. I'm actually going to talk about my enlightened partnership with my dog tonight. We also have wonderful Christy Michaels with us, and Christy is very much the inspiration for tonight's show. She's the one who every year says, Scott, it's time to do something on enlightened partners. And so we do. And I'm really excited to hear more from this wonderful woman, Dr. Melissa Sophia Joy, who is in a beautiful enlightened partnership with the divine, and also clearly in her world service. And we're going to learn all about that tonight. So it's wonderful to have you with us, Melissa. And I have an enlightened partnership twice a week with this beautiful man, Omashar. And he really has become my primary professional partner. Twice a week, we co-pilot this ship. So I'm very grateful for that partnership with you, my friend.
Yeah, me too. And I've watched it developing because we've been in person with each other 3 or 4 times, and that is wonderful. But because we are, I'm in Colorado and you're in California, there's this kind of distance that I used to think was a distance, but it's really not, because I've grown in tangibly feeling my love for you, and you reach out so consistently to me that I realized that we're just developing this friendship underneath it all, which is very solid. And tonight is interesting because I was wondering what is my part in a place with Enlightened Partnerships, and I realized that I have a really deep relationship with my music, and that is one of my it really is my enlightened partnership because I do not lay claim to writing any of my music. It all comes through. And as my walk these days is 100% in partnership with the divine feminine, with the divine masculine, with the rocks now of Colorado, Rocky Mountains, and the trees and everything, I realize that I am never alone. And that I am in an enlightened relationship. I actually haven't had a personal, intimate relationship for a decade. And I used to wonder what was up with that. But I actually don't care at all because I feel so rich within my heart. And I'm just going to play a song now called Until You. And part of the reason that Spirit chose it for me, because I generally don't choose the songs for the night. They just pop in and say, play this one. I go, okay. And I realize now, because this is a song that was written quite a while ago, and it was written just as I was leaving pop rock bands and entering fully into the divinely aligned music, let's say. And the song is, what could I ever do without you in my life? It would seem so unreal. I'm glad it's not true. And when I was writing it, I was writing it to spirit, even though everyone who listened to it thought I was writing it to another human being. But I wasn't. This is all written to spirit, and I am one love with you. You're part of my life. Don't think that I'm crazy, because when I was starting to have this relationship with spirit, I thought I was going a little bit crazy because I started to kind of talk to myself. And hey, you didn't hear that. Anyway, here's the song, and I will do this and do this. What could I ever do without you in my life? It would seem so unreal. I'm glad it's not true. What could I ever feel if you left me alone? I'm so happy you're here. You came through. I am one love with you. You're part of my life. Don't think that I'm crazy, 'cause I feel so alive in this new situation. I am never alone. You gave me your heart, and now I call it my home. Show me a better way to get on with my life. I wasn't always this real until you. I know the constant change that we need for our souls. There is always a way for us to get through. I am one love with you. You're part of my life. Don't think
crazy, 'cause I feel so alive in this new situation. I am never alone. You gave me your heart, and now I call you my home.
Yikes. That was one of those songs that ended too quickly.
I know.
I'm still like spotlighting people.
It's all right. It's funny because in my mind I'm already seeing the massive quantity of content we have for the rest of my life, and I think, do I do another verse or do I just cut it here? So I cut it there, and if I was watching you spotlighting, maybe I wouldn't have. But whatever, here we are. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, brother. And Omashar will be back with 2 more songs tonight. We're going to get to our guests, but so many of you have written wonderful things in the chat box. So I am going to read some of the comments, starting with Dr. Laura, who writes, Omashar, many, many, many of us have no intimate partnership at this time. In this rapidly changing world and our rapidly rising soul selves, it is hard to find the time and opportunities to meet a lot of folks who are in sync with us. I'm staying open to it, but not sitting back waiting to find someone. Life is to be lived. So thank you, Dr. Laura. That's a beautiful expression representing some of the single people in our audience. Hang on, I'm going to thank you, by the way, lots of comments, people loving Omashar, both what you had to say and your music. Our wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson, writes, greetings, tribe. For 40 years, others have said that the wild, crazy man that I am is married to God. And yes, Jerry, you are. And it's a beautiful thing. Dia Therese from Boise writes, enlightened love relationship is just that, sharing the light that each one of us is with the light that is the other. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Dia. And there's a couple more that I noticed that came in here that I wanted to read. George Noble writes, he's coming from Santa Rosa. This is a very Northern California show tonight, by the way. Almost all of our presenters are in the Northern California area. He writes, enlightened partnership is a high-frequency couple or partnership who are fully free to be themselves while committed to supporting each other. Right on, George. That's an excellent one. And Diara writes, conscious equal partnership, sharing and caring. Beautiful. All right. I am going to go to Christy Michaels, who, as I said before, is kind of the person who made this, or reminded me that every February we do an Enlightened Partnership show. So Christy,
yes,
what Enlightened Partnerships mean to you?
it means global peace tribe, Scott. To be honest, seriously, you guys who have shown up tonight, who are actually in the Zoom room, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be in the Zoom room. So those of you who's watching on Facebook, please come on into the Zoom room. It's so much better when you come in from the cold and come in with us and feel the energy of what we're creating, because this is what Enlightened Partnership is about. You know, I started 15 years ago. I heard Barbara Marx Hubbard talk, and I asked her after the talk, I said, how are we going to have conscious enlightened relationships? And she was going, well, I'm having a struggle with my own. I don't know, but you know what? If we get together with people who are actually exploring the edges and have the deeper conversation. Now, where in the world do we have the deeper conversation? At Global Peace Tribe. That's why I'm trying to get people to understand, if we don't gather and have the deeper conversations and actually give voice to the world that we want, the awakened world that we want. So you guys, I salute everyone that's showing up on this show, you guys are the ones. You are the cat's meow or the doggy's wolf, right? So anyway, this is what, and I got really impassioned about it because, of course, after 3 marriages that didn't work out, I was like, how am I going to do this? And I felt like, wow, I had an opportunity with a roommate that I came into my house. She was looking good on the outside, but once she was in my house, I suddenly realized she had some serious mental health issues. And this was not going to work because we kept having one episode after another. And I am trained in compassionate communication, so I don't attack back. And so, but she was disturbing my peace. So I took a deep dive. Boy, if I am going to deal with the anxiety, I don't know if a few of you are dealing with any anxiety about what's going on in the outside world. And the first step of Enlightened Partnership is we go within and we find our own peace, the peace that's in us, and claim it and embody it and connect with it. And so she was driving me crazy and I didn't like that feeling. So I went on a search for peace. She became my mastery level teacher. I found the most incredible experience, peace, a level of profound that was beyond anything I had ever known before. And when I hit that sweet spot, oh my God, I was like, oh, I came home. I served her the papers. I said, you have to move on. But I did it with all from a place of love and compassion. We found out later that she had actually been hopping from landlord to landlord doing this. And when she was packing up to leave my house, I said, did you get everything? Or do you want to do one more walkthrough? And she said, no. But unbeknownst to even her, because she has God inside her, she turned to me and she said, oh, Christy, thank you. Because no one had everybody had attacked her. And I was the only one that met her, even though I was dealing with a very harsh, abusive situation. No one had ever dealt with her with peace. So this is where we begin, folks. We begin with finding that peace within ourselves. And Scott, I honor you so much. And I'm shouting from the mountaintops. We are in a situation in our world that we really need a global peace tribe. So thank you, everyone.
Oh, Christy, wow. I'm gonna go to gallery view. That deserves like twinkles. Let's all twinkle Christy for her beautiful passion, her beautiful enthusiasm. Thank you so much for your support of Global Peace Tribe.
Yeah, well, thank you for hanging in there and keep on keeping on. I mean, how many shows have you done?
We've done
shows?
over 600.
Yeah.
And we're soon going to be celebrating our 5 full years of Global Peace Tribe show.
I know. And it's like, you know, we need these deeper conversations, like that show you did Wednesday with Anasuya and Dr. Ivy and Dr. Marty. Oh my God, that was a conversation that needed to be had.
Yeah.
So deep, so rich. And so this is important. And I honor all of you that have kept showing up to the Global Peace Tribe, as I have as well. I was at the first show and I'm been involved in numerous shows. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Christy. Thank you. And we'll be hearing much more from Christy. And it's true, you know, this Global Peace Tribe grew out of the pandemic. And, you know, that was a crisis period. And I think we're right back in a crisis period of a different kind right now. And so it is important for us to inspire each other and provide information to each other, and to do it all with love. To do, even if we're talking about the hard stuff, to do it with love.
Absolutely.
And speaking of love, I'm really excited that Renee and Anthony are back with us tonight. They are such sweet people. I've gotten to spend a little bit of time with them in person, and they're just beautiful. They are, the way you see them on camera is the way they are off camera. They're just sweet, gentle, loving people that are in their hearts and really doing beautiful divine work in the world. So welcome back. Of course, if we're doing a show on enlightened partnerships, we got to have you with us. And I'd love for both of you just to share what does those words mean to you, and what tips can you give to our audience for that?
You want to start?
Let me get the sillies out first.
Sillies are good.
Well,
Sillies are
humor
fun.
is definitely part of it. If you don't have humor in relationship, it doesn't go very far.
I think that's true. We have a lot of humor.
Yeah.
We don't take ourselves so seriously. I always say that to a lot of people. You know, don't take yourself so seriously, especially when you're on a spiritual journey. It can get kind of deep and sometimes dark. Stay in community with people that love you and that support you on your journey. And, you know, like we do, right? We have several different communities.
Yeah, we have several different community. And I think, yeah, I think that's really great advice. But I think you're talking more, are you talking more about sacred relationship or sacred? Yeah.
Well, you know, for you, I want to hear both, but I really want to anchor in how important what you just said is humor, you know, being light with each other. And I really observe that, you know, as a relationship coach, the couples that I work with, that even when they're working on something really hard, like there's a big disagreement, but then they can say something and crack each other up and laugh. Like that's a really important quality in relationship, long-term healthy relationship, enlightened partnership, is to be able to laugh, to be able to be silly. So I'm actually really glad that you led with that.
Well, laugh at each other too. I think we have to laugh at each other. Like we did in the car dealership today. Yeah, I think it's in everyday moments where things get stressed or tense or, you know, around all the triggers for most couples, right? Around money, around sex, we've got to kind of lighten things and be kind in those moments when the triggers come up.
Yeah.
Take a pause, take a step back and breathe into what your partner's feeling. Yeah.
Beautiful. Very, very important input. And what do you each do together as a couple to make the relationship more sacred, to make it, to see each other as beloved?
We do a lot of ritual.
Yeah, we do a lot of ceremony, a lot of ritual.
Yeah, we really do. That's why I said earlier, there's no shortage of candles in the house. I mean, you know, when we say ritual and ceremony, we mean just on a Wednesday night, right? It doesn't have to be around the full moon or even though we do celebrate those as well. It might just be on, let's celebrate something tonight, you know, something small.
Everything that we do, we try to bring in the divine.
Yeah.
Some source of holiness and divinity. Whether we, like every morning, I'll light the candles, I'll do incense, I'll do prayers. We bring in Shabbat on Friday. We bless our food. We're just always aware of others around us, spirit, and who we are all the
It's
time.
seasonal. We do everything. Often we bring in ritual to seasonal. And, you know, as you know, we do this in community and we do this with other people, but we do that just the two of us. And I think that's to your point. What do you do to kind of bring each other closer together? Yeah.
And we're very fortunate. I mean, we are the luckiest people on the planet because we have literally Yeshua and Miriam coming through and speaking with us
For dinner.
And it keeps us on our path.
You know, it's funny, Scott, like I've said this in our kind of closed membership community sometimes because they see us in our rawest moments. They see us sometimes when we're late. They see us at moments when something gets channeled that I've never heard before. And I'm astonished. And I'm like, I can't believe this is being public before we've talked about it or whatever. So our community see us in, you know, these kind of funny, humorous moments. And, you know, we laugh at it. We kind of laugh and we, yeah.
That is a really wonderful thing. I want to let people know that they do have a very, very beautiful community, and you may want to join it and be part of it. And if you go to bluesoulearth.com, bluesoulearth.com. Definitely put in your name, like I'm doing right now, your name and subscribe.
I think you're already subscribed.
I get about 6 from you guys, but I want to model it for people, all right? And there's a lot that they offer. They've got membership programs, Magdalene's Sisters for Women, a lot of upcoming events. Definitely go to bluesoulearth.com to learn more about their community. And I really would encourage you to join their community. You can even get mentorship from them. They provide one-on-one and small group mentorships. This is for more advanced people on the spiritual path.
That's new, by the way. That's brand new for 2025. We haven't done that in the past, so that's a new thing. Yeah, it's going to be
mentorship is a really important part of community building. I'm very involved with something called the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. A lot of the people that are part of that circle are regulars on this show. And I'm part of the Leadership Council. And we had this big meeting like, okay, what do we want for the evolutionary leaders really to be? Because there's about 300 of us. And we actually realized mentorship. We want to, we're getting older. Most of us are in our third act, as Jane Fonda would put it. And thank you, Jane. And at that age, to provide mentorship to younger people, younger leaders, but also to each other. Some of us are more high-tech proficient. Some people have already learned how to work with AI in a beautiful way. Some people have learned how to work with Zoom. Some people have learned how to channel. So, we can mentor each other in beautiful ways. And I think that's another form of enlightened partnership, is providing wisdom that we have to others. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel, obviously we're in partnership, but what I get, even more juiced up about is my time with women, my time connecting with women. I mean, I think to me, that's the most sacred, because we go so deep, with our shares in ways that we can be very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And, interesting, the word vulnerable, because that's the word that Mary Magdalene brings up in our book in terms of sacred sex and sacred relationship, the need to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Right. But it has to come from both sides, whether it's in a romantic partnership or whether it's with sisterhood. We have to be vulnerable and let her.
Somewhere in my room, I have a poster, a bumper sticker, which Love Coach Academy created. And it says, vulnerability is the new sexy.
Totally.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to hear much more from Renee and Anthony, but I want to, hear a little bit from each of our couples. So we'll be back with you. And it's my joy to bring up Donny and Heather. These are two of my dearest friends. I can honestly say they're family. Or as Tiara would say, family. That's a combination of friends and family. Family. Welcome you to Enlightened Partners.
Aloha, Scott.
Aloha, Scott. And Scott introduced us to each other.
Gotta give him credit for that
we're
one.
on 14 years ago already.
One of the most wonderful things I've done in my life, I must say.
Give you full kudos for that
Full
one.
credit. So, yeah, thank you. So we've been in a relationship and sacred marriage and business partnership and creative partnership for 14 years now. And I love, thank you so much for inviting us on.
Thank you.
We did.
Yeah. I'm always just astonished with how much you've created. I mean, they've created a beautiful retreat site in Maui. If you're going to Maui, definitely visit them. It's on the jungle side of the island. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. And they provide very special kind of in-person retreats or small retreats. You also take people on journeys to Egypt. You create amazing music, amazing videos.
Yeah,
you do ritual.
Books.
Now, I don't even know about the book. Tell us about the books.
We've always got books. Well, these are our newest books, Moon Ritual Alchemy and Moon Ritual Alchemy, the journal.
Well,
So this was, things happen in the world. We had the big fires in Maui, and all of a sudden everything, the island went quiet for quite some months. So
True.
this was one of these things on our hearts to create. So we created that, just like when COVID came, we created a recipe book. So now we're kind of, essential oils and other things. But love to share with you, we kind of jotted down some ways that we've nurtured our sacred partnerships that we would love to share with you. So
Okay.
number one on our list comes from, you're very connected to this because it's sacred communication, or compassionate communication, or MDC, which we have been practicing since day one, which has been super helpful for us to understand each other and have strategy to, what to do when we're triggered, and how to find each other's underlying needs, and understanding that we each have our story. Anything you want to share?
Well, I just want to say that one of the things that Heather and I really thrive on is we work really well together. Mm-hmm. And we are on a very we're on the same spiritual path, and we're really dedicated to sharing that with others. So we do, whether it's a retreat here, or our sound healing, or full moon or new moon ceremonies, which is how we met. We share a lot of things together, and we've got a very similar purpose, and that is the common thread that keeps our journey rolling. And to quote Scott, that's not an exact quote, but we also we practice a lot of acceptance too, mm-hmm. because there's a lot there. We're very, very, very different, and those differences enhance each other, but they're very different ways of perceiving things, different ways of doing things, and that requires acceptance.
Right, and I think Donny, one thing that he loves to live by is that his highest value is kindness. So mm-hmm. I think that, whatever is happening in a relationship, if you practice kindness and know that the other person has a good intention, even though you might feel like you're miles away from each other, I trust that he has a good intention in his love for me, always, and that we will find our way through, all if there's any muckiness and things, and also devotion. I feel like we're very devoted to each other through our path, through kind of like thick and thin. We have been through some things, definitely. And I feel like our devotion and our love have really carried us, and seen miracles happen in our lives that have helped both of us to grow in some amazing ways and create beautiful harmony and synergy in our relationship.
We honor each other's journey, and that's really an important part of it.
Yeah.
So I just want to anchor in these beautiful things: kindness, radical acceptance, devotion. We're together even through the hard times, and honoring each other's journey, because it's not always the same journey. There's parts that are the same, and there's parts that are a little different. So those are amazing tools and beautiful. We're going to hear more Donny and Heather, but I want people to know, again, we're going to kind of go through all of our different friends here, have so many wonderful offerings. And to find all things Donny and Heather, go to blackswantemple.org, blackswantemple.org. Definitely sign up right away, get their newsletter, and get the download. When you do that, usually, it's funny, I'll just close it. There we go.
Yeah.
The world does need for us to rise in our greatness, everybody. It does. It's a beautiful website, and that's where you can learn about all the different parts. There's sacred travel, there's sound healing, the mystery school that they have right at their beautiful retreat site in their home in Maui, special events that they do. All things Donny and Heather are at blackswantemple.org. you can download a free sound healing journey, and they're going to take us on a sound healing journey in just a few minutes. So thank you so much, Donny and Heather, for being with us.
Thank you, Scott. We love you.
Thank you.
Love you too. So from one beautiful couple to another beautiful couple, look at this gorgeous couple, Darren and Karina. And of course, Darren's been on the show recently through Soul Search. And there's all sorts of enlightened partnerships going on with Soul Search. What a wonderful organization that is. But I would love for the two of you to tell our audience a little bit about what it's been like meeting each other a little bit later in life and how your enlightened partnership has enhanced your life.
Honey. I need you.
Oh, we need you to unmute.
Okay, now we're unmuted.
Yeah.
It was funny because Darren opened his mouth, Heather was not muted, and we heard Heather say honey as it came out of Darren's mouth. It was classic.
Channeling Heather.
When I met Darren, I wanted a relationship, but I did nothing except inner work.
That's right.
And so I went to one event, and that's where I met him. And he resisted me in the beginning. I thought he fit my pictures, and we communicated very easily. But I kept his rejection somewhat. It really wasn't, but he just didn't see me. I felt like it enhanced my self-esteem, because what it showed me was I want a partner, this one or someone better. And I just kept doing my inner work and felt empowered that I had a lot to offer. And, you know, we were friends for a year and a third before he woke up.
Okay. Yeah, well, might as well get right into the vulnerable stuff right away, right? I think what happens when I met Karina, we met on this dating event online called Spiritual Singles. And like she said, what an amazing manifester you are, because like I know what it's like to go to many singles events and so on. She did nothing. She just went to show up this one thing after being single for 6 or 7 years and met me. And that's, and maybe you should tell them what you were doing before that led up to that. You were doing some magical things.
I was doing a process called a terma, which you put your hands in, you know, just feel the chi field, a ball of, and you visualize what you want. It's a quantum field process that I learned from Jean Houston. It's called a terma, and you just visualize your desire, and you infuse it with the chi, and then you put it in the past, bury it in the ground or put it in a drawer, and then you come back and you do it again. You sort of put it in the one hand and put it and bury it, and then you come back and create it again, and then you put it in the future, and then you visualize again exactly the feeling. And manifesting this is the book I'm publishing in the spring. It's called Magnetic Creation. You have to be in the manifestation, not like watch a movie. So you're just feeling that, and then you put it on your head, and it is magical because you're using the quantum field, which is the past, the present, and the future are one. So I just did my termas and was in my self-esteem, and he called me every 3 weeks. I thought he had 3 women, and you know, I was happy to have a friend, and I wasn't attached, because part of magnetic creation is you know what you want, but you let go of who, what, when, where, and how. So, and it was, life has improved greatly being in partnership. It's rich. I mean, we have truly a spiritual bond. We pray together, we channel together, and we do process together. We're taking a course together on energy medicine, shamanism. We're increasing our skills and our toolbox, so to speak.
Yeah. Those are remarkable. I think the reason you might have felt me resisting you a bit when we first met is because I had this sense I'd been out in the minor hell of the dating world for quite a while, Match.com and all these things, and a lot of near misses and so on. And when I met Karina, I had this feeling like, this will not be like that. This is a true commitment. Like, this is going to be the real thing. And part of me is, oh, I'm not ready. I don't think I thought of that consciously. So it took me a little while, but eventually you're right. I did see you, and I realized that this is a spiritual relationship I've been waiting for my whole life. Like, I've had good reconnections with other women, shared a lot of beautiful things, but I never felt like there was that connection on this level. And you truly have given that to me. So thank you so much.
This is beautiful to hear, right? I mean, as a single man, I'm just going, oh. And again, like I did with Donny and Heather, I want to anchor in a few of the really key points. I love that Karina wasn't desperate. She wasn't grasping. She wasn't in that kind of a place. She did her inner work, and she did it for years. And she trusted herself, and she trusted her process. And even when Darren didn't respond the way that she might have ideally liked, she didn't take it personally. She didn't collapse. She didn't get needy or graspy or what's wrong with me or what's wrong with him. She just held the course. That is, go, Karina, go. That is such an important teaching for all of us about when we want something. And again, hold the vision, let it go. Hold the vision, let it go. And then I appreciate your honesty and vulnerability, Darren, that like part of you is like, oh shit, this is what I've always wanted. And sometimes when we're facing what we've always wanted, we get scared. Am I ready? Can I handle this? Can I manage this? So I really so appreciate both of you. And we're going to get a lot more of Darren and Karina tonight. We still have another guest. And I'm especially excited because I don't know Melissa Sophia Joy. I've heard her speak on Christy's event before and was very impressed with her, but I don't know her too well. And so it's kind of fun for me. Not only does my audience get to know you, but I get to know you, Melissa. So welcome to the Awakening World.
Thank you so much, Scott. I'm so delighted to be here on so many levels. And I'm actually really thrilled that I get to be not only just the single person here, besides, others, but also the single person that's actually speaking to what I consider the most incredible, the most transformative, the most stabilizing, the most awakening relationship of our lives. Now, this doesn't preclude to have romantic relationships. I've been in many enlightened romantic relationships and have made this relationship that I'm getting ready to talk about with the divine primary. And I'm also in a very similar situation than that Karina is in currently. Like I'm doing a lot of this manifestation work, but the core of it really, it has to do with my relationship with the divine. Because when we not just have the idea of having a relationship with the divine, but we actually have a practice, a form, a way that we're bringing in our higher self-consciousness, and how our higher self-consciousness is connected to the divine, and we bring it deeply into our being, magic manifests. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, just a wee little bit of my story so you can more fully understand. So I went through a very, very long dark night of the soul, like for over a decade. A lot of that was trauma from this lifetime, as well as because I'm a mystic and intuitive, like many, many, many past lives, like thousands of years of traumatic past lives. And I worked with many different healers and initiations and vision quests and medicine journeys. And at the end of the day, I didn't feel the peace that I really wanted. So I surrendered very, very, very deeply to the divine. And what ended up happening is that I had this incredible vision with Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and they told me it's time to remember. And it's time for me to share what I learned with others. And within a few days, Mary Magdalene started coming to me, teaching me what I now call Somatic Awakening. And this process, what we're doing in this process is that we're utilizing our higher self and how our higher self is connected to the divine, what I call the conduit of divinity. And we're bringing it down and into our being in a very held way, very specific, what I call the architecture of presence. And all that is held within that with our higher self. And we're transforming the negative voices that hold us back. We're transforming the somatic contractions that are frozen in our being. We're transforming anything that says that we're not love, or that we don't get a relationship, or that we have to stay in a negative relationship or a negative job, whatever it is, right? So as we transform more and more, we actually move into this powerful level of balance, of ease and grace. And then what happens is that we embody more of that divine consciousness inside of us, our higher self consciousness, the divine consciousness that's flowing in all the time, that we're now more and more aware of. And then what happens is that our sacred anatomy lights up, it turns on. Our known experience of divinity actually gets turned on. It's what I call clairgnosis, right? The intuitive sensing, feeling, understanding of the lived experience of the divine inside of us. And I have the pleasure every day of my life connecting deeply, listening, understanding, nuancing, asking questions of the divine that's inside of me. So ultimately what's happening is that in this process, we're unifying with a divine that's flowing inside of us, the divine that is us inside of us, with our humanity. Divine and human coming together, internal union. And that's what I'm so lit up about. That's why I'm teaching. I'm writing a book on this. I have programs and other things. I love teaching it because I see people transform so much on a daily level. And even more significantly, whether a person is in a romantic relationship or not, what happens is that this relationship that will never die, that was here before we came into this body and will be here after we leave this body, this becomes unified. And that changes everything.
Wow. So you're writing a book. Tell us about, do you do one-on-one coaching with people, or do you do group workshops? Tell us how people can learn what you got. Like we just saw the commercials. They repeated when Harry met Sally. I want what she's having. So I think a lot of our people right now going, I want what Sophia Joy is having. How do people get that?
Well, thank you. So I actually, many years ago, I became licensed as a naturopathic doctor. So I have a healing practice, and I still do some aspects of naturopathic medicine, but I also do a lot of somatic awakening and mind, body, spirit counseling and intuitive connections, all the different levels, working with Akashic records. And so I do have a one-on-one practice, and you can connect with me that way. I also, since COVID, I actually launched Sophia Healing Academy online, and I have an online school. I'm teaching a lot of different things. I have a lot of things coming up, free events, as well as other events that are like 3-day events. We'll be talking more about that later. And then I have a big somatic awakening immersion program so that people can really dive into this process, as well as go into becoming a somatic awakening practitioner. And this book is actually an ebook that I wrote many, many years ago. I'm writing a book currently for publication. I actually just talked to my editor yesterday, and it's a love story. It's a love story between me and the divine, and how I've brought this to so many different people. I can't really say I brought it. I facilitated it. This connection that's already ours. And that's really all that I'm doing, and all that any practitioner is doing that's doing somatic awakening, is that we're facilitating your own authentic, true connection to yourself, to your higher self, to stabilize all of the ego programs, all of the somatic contractions that can pull us down into our triggers. And that allows us to show up in our life, whether we're in a relationship with a romantic beloved or any relationship on our entire life, in unification with our higher self guiding. And that changes everything. It's
Wow.
like NVC on steroids.
Well, that's powerful. I want to show people a couple of things. She mentioned that she's got this wonderful event coming up March 21st to the 23rd. And she's actually created a half off special coupon. So what you want to do is you want to remember the words homecoming special. And you want to go to her website, sophiahealingacademy.com. sophiahealingacademy.com. And when you go there, that's what you'll see. And that's where you can learn more about what she's doing. She's got a video that, kind of helps us know about her practitioner program and learn all about what she's doing, and then register for this beautiful 3-day workshop. Of course, it's online, and some amazing testimonials that she's received. So, and we're going to be hearing much, much more from Melissa. And we'll run through all the things I'm showing you guys. We'll run through it one more time, because I know it's a lot. Melissa, I love your joy. I really love your joy. And I get that you have a lot of really beautiful things to share with the world. And thank you for being with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, now we've met all these amazing people. Let's take a journey. Let's drop in and take a journey. And we are so blessed to have Donny and Heather, who they give good journey. Heather's beautiful voice, Donny's music, her crystal bowls. And what do you have in mind for where you're going to take it tonight?
Well, yeah, I just want to introduce it before I go to my bowls and we
Of course.
take on the journey. So I love that today is 2/22, February 22nd, Enlightened Partnerships, right? 2 is a number of partnerships, of balance, of cooperation. And 22 is actually associated with Mary Magdalene. So I love that we have these Magdalene people on the call. So it invokes the energy of the divine feminine as embodied by Mary Magdalene and the sacred union with Yeshua, and symbolizing the highest form of sacred union and partnership and spiritual alchemy. So with that, and it's also 3 2s, 2 2 2, 2/22, which the 3 brings in the Holy Trinity. So that is the spiritual alchemy of the sacred masculine and feminine, and the divine union with the fruits of that union, the divine offspring and fruits. So this is a little background for our journey that we are about to take you on. So we invite you to get comfortable. You can sit or lay back, and we'll just be a moment.
It is amazing that we're doing this on 2/22. And so thank you for pointing that out. And it's also really something that we've got so much Mary Magdalene energy between Melissa, Sophia Joy, Renee Anthony, Heather. Christy Michaels does amazing Mary Magdalene events, which we'll be talking about later tonight. So how beautiful.
Let's just do a quick sound check. You can hear us okay, Scott?
I hear you, Donny. Let's check with Heather.
All right. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Fantastic. So, yes, Donny and I are actually both clergy of the Temple of Isis. We walk the path, the sacred path of Isis, and a combination actually also Essene ministers. And so I was ordained through the Church of the Essenes back in 2004, 20 years ago. So I love the synergy of these two paths, and I was invited into the Temple of Isis on 10/10/10, which was October 10th, 2010. And someone from the Temple of Isis had reached out to me, and they said, "We recognize your work. Would you please come during our convocation?" This is a very special convocation, and dance and share ceremony, and we would like to bestow you with that, with an ordination into the temple. And so our temple is a temple within the temple of Isis. It's an Iseum. It's like a ministry within the temple. All right. So we invite you to sit or lie back. Make yourself comfortable. Lowering your eyes and turning your awareness within. Bring your awareness to your breath. And following your breath as it goes in and out. Relaxing into your exhale. Letting everything go. Softening your face, your jaw, your shoulders. And deepening your breath into the area of your heart. And deepening your breath into the area of your belly. And deepening your breath into the area of your pelvis. And into your root chakra. And I invite you to take a moment to ground yourself, feeling your sit bones underneath you, and perhaps sending a grounding cord down from the perineum point all the way to the crystalline iron core of the earth. And connect with the heart of Mother Earth. Inviting her energy, her wisdom to come up through that grounding cord, nourishing you, connecting you with our beloved Mother Earth. Allowing this energy to come up through your spine. And perhaps fountain at the top of your head, connecting you with our beloved Mother Earth. And now from the cosmos, I invite you to call in beautiful golden white light, divine energy, connecting you with Source, the codes and patterns of perfection for your life. Allowing this light to descend down in through that 1,000-petaled violet lotus flower that sits atop your head. Allow it to continue down your spine and into the earth. Connecting you with heaven and earth right here, right now. And now resting in your heart. Perhaps resting your hands over your heart. Centering yourself in your heart. Take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Letting your breath gently flow into your heart center. And gently exhale slowly, releasing all that is no longer serving you. And breathe in again. Feeling your heart expand, becoming a sanctuary of peace and receptivity.
With each breath, envision yourself now gently walking into an enchanting rose garden. A rose garden bathed in soft golden light. The air is fragrant with roses in hues of soft pink, deep crimson, and pure white. The soothing sounds guide you deeper into a sacred space, opening your heart fully to receive. Within the garden, Mary Magdalene and Yeshua gently appear before you, surrounded by shimmering rose-colored light. Their presence radiates pure, unconditional love, divine harmony, and sacred union. Feel their warmth, their loving energy enveloping you, reassuring you that you are deeply loved and supported. Mary Magdalene and Yeshua now lead you gently to a clearing where above you float 3 radiant spheres of soft light, the Holy Trinity. The light of the divine feminine, nurturing, compassionate, intuitive. The light of the divine masculine, emanating strength, wisdom, protection. And a light representing the divine child, the sacred offspring, the harmony and gifts born of divine union. Feel yourself standing within the sacred Trinity. Bathed in divine light. Opening yourself to profound harmony and peace. In the center of this luminous triangle now appears a gentle mist of rose, golden light. And within that mist, a beautiful gift begins to appear just for you. It may be a symbol, or an object, or a flower, or word, or even a feeling. This is your sacred gift, given to support and nurture you in your journey of enlightened partnership and divine love. Take a moment to fully receive and embrace the sacred gift, allowing its meaning to gently unfold within your heart. Allowing the sounds to softly wash over you, supporting you and integrating the energy and wisdom of your sacred gift into your being. Feel this gift taking root in your heart. Blossoming into deeper love, creativity, and divine harmony. Mary Magdalene and Yeshua gently place their hands upon your heart now, blessing your sacred gift and your journey with infinite love. Feel their divine essence merging with yours. Filling you with deep peace, clarity, and harmony. Now take a slow, nourishing breath to your heart, expressing heartfelt gratitude to Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, and the Holy Trinity for their loving presence, sacred gift. Gently now. Bring your awareness back to your breath and your body, to the present moment. Perhaps wiggling your fingers and toes, and carrying this divine blessing within you, within your heart forever, as we gently bring you back with the song.
I keep feeling your love in me over and over and over again. I keep feeling your love in me over and over and over again. And it's sweeter and sweeter as the days go by. Oh, what love we share, you and I. You and I. You and I.
I want to invite everybody to very gently continue to breathe in this incredible beauty that Donny and Heather have provided us. Opening our eyes, wiggling our fingers, twinkling our toes,
Stretch.
and then stretch. And I am going to go to gallery view and invite us all just to send a lot of Global Peace Tribe love and appreciation for that amazing journey. And please put into the chat box what you experienced.
What your gift was, perhaps.
What was your gift from Yeshua and Mary Magdalene? And what did you see? What did you experience? And while you're all having a chance to put in your gifts, I want to remind people that you can find all things Donny and Heather at Black Swan Temple, blackswantemple.org. And there's so much there. And again, there's sacred travel. When's your next trip to Egypt?
Is October of this year, and we offer usually on the new moons every month online ceremony ritual that is by donation, and so you can sign up for our email and join us. Carol is often with us. Gary,
Wonderful. We love Carol. Beautiful. All right. Well, anyway, Black Swan Temple is where you're going to find all about their special events. And as you can tell, they do everything with so much class and so much beauty. And I'm going to read some of what's coming in now. Karina and Darren wrote they're coming in so fast that I'm losing it. They wrote, so beautiful. I love your co-creativeness. Dr. Laura writes, my gifts were spectacular. I was given a picture of someone I will meet soon who might be a love connection. Wow. I remember to do the Karina thing, put it in your hand and then let it go. All right, I'm gonna read some more. Eleanor Joy writes, felt totally in the void, the quantum field. I felt very peaceful and went very deep. Omashar writes, it was coming in so fast that I'm losing it.
No, I was just repeating your comment. I'm still integrating Donny and Heather. Holy smoke! Thank you so much. What a treasure I feel because of your presence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Christy's gift was a large pink diamond. Dear Therese, the gift of softness and being held. Maximum gratitude. Harold Simus writes, beautiful. My gift was a white rose tinged with pink. The message that I got was, remember to make a date with your divine self daily. Galaxy Starborn, she's a wonderful presenter who's on the show frequently. She writes, thank you for this musical expression of love. And George Noble writes, one, like the number one, wonderful peace and stillness. And many more messages have come in. Susan S. writes, I loved the sweetness of the birds. Yeah, I love little birds chirping. That's a great quality you all have.
Got a lot of birds
We have
outside.
a lot, yeah, we live in the jungle. The birds love to
A lot of
sing
birds
with
out
us.
there.
They added to it. It was beautiful. Susan Woolridge writes, kept me on the edge of tears. Christy Michaels says, a taste of the divine for sure. So anyway, thank you both so much.
Thanks, Scott.
And we'll have a little more Donny and Heather a little bit later on in the show. So thank you. Love you guys so much. Hey, guess what? It's almost springtime. Spring is almost here. It was interesting. I live in the Bay Area. Most of the people tonight, most of our presenters are Bay Area. And it was the warmest day I think we've had all year. It was just a beautiful day. And when springtime comes, it also means it's time for the new spring season of Global Peace Tribe and Awakening World shows. And so I just yesterday, we opened up our new season is available. So for those of you that are already in the Zoom room, you're still got the Zoom rooms for the next 5 weeks or 4 weeks, but now's a good time to register. And so I just put into the chat box the link to register. And for all of you, the majority of people watching right now are watching us on Facebook or YouTube. And like Christy Michaels said earlier, come and join us. Come join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. globalpeacetribe.com. You can learn all about us. You can see what our upcoming shows are. Here's the one that we're doing right now. And then click register for the new season. And when you click that, it'll take you to our registration page, and you can come in on all sorts of different levels. You can come in as a student and a senior, or you can even sponsor an entire show. So come on in and join us, and you will immediately get the links to our Zoom room, including tonight. And you can come into the Zoom room. We still have a lot of show left. And like Christy said, it's really fun to be in the Zoom room because there's a lot of really dynamic chat, like you just saw me reading the chat. We do about once a month a show with Soul Search, where we have psychics and healers doing direct readings for members of our Zoom room audience. And there's a lot of wonderful things about being part of the Global Peace Tribe. It's a real happy, beautiful family, to be honest, of like-minded, deeply inspired souls. So now's the perfect time. If you join now, you'll get the Zoom room links to all of our shows all the way through the end of June. So it's a really good time, especially for those of you that are new watching us. Join us. We do a show every Wednesday night, every Saturday night, and once or twice a month we do a Sacred Sunday show, plus we do special events. So come and join us. We are going to now open up a group discussion. And this is where it's a really good idea to be part of the Zoom room, because we're going to interact with our audience. And so I'm going to bring up all of our different presenters. We'll start with Christy Michaels, because all things begin with Christy. And here's Omashar and Melissa and Renee and Anthony and Karina and Darren and Heather and Donny. And so this is an opportunity for, if you have any thoughts or questions for them, I'll be kind of monitoring them, and would love to hear your questions and, of course, all of your answers. And I will start with a question for all of you to kind of get us started, and then I'm going to be tracking what's going on in the chat box. I'm going to ask this question to all of you, but I'd like to start with Melissa responding first. What's your tool or practice for raising your state of consciousness, kind of going into that enlightened state when there's something going on in the world, either your direct personal circumstances or what's happening in Gaza or what's happening in the big world? When it's hard, when the world is pounding away and it hurts, what's a tool or a practice for going back into a more enlightened or a more higher consciousness, high vibe state? And again, we'll start with Melissa.
Thank you, Scott. That's a very important question, especially with everything that's happening in the world and in the US. You know, I'll frame it in the sense of something external that's happening, you know, Gaza, the political situation, the things that are going on. When that happens and I feel triggered inside, maybe I feel worried or I feel fear, I talk to a patient who has a lot of worry and fear, and then it kind of stirs me up. What I do, first of all, is track what's inside of me that's actually getting triggered, right? Because the external is reflecting something that's internal. I then will go through a process that Mary Magdalene taught me called Somatic Awakening to practice. And so I begin with grounding. I connect into my body. I connect into my higher self through my higher chakras. I invite in the guides. I invite in my higher self to be fully present. And then I bring that higher consciousness down and into my body in the place that's holding that charge. So that could be in my heart, it could be in my energy body, it could be somewhere else. So, but in essence, what happens is that I bring this higher consciousness in relationship to whatever that is. So maybe it's fear. Maybe I heard something, you know, politically, and I have a fear. For instance, I'm not going to go into all the things, but you can just take a pick of all the things that's going on, right? So I have a fear that's happening. And then what happens is that my higher self, specifically what I call my higher self witness consciousness, comes into direct relationship with that fear in a very specific held way. So that this fear feels fully held, fully seen, I'm fully aware of it. And we could say it's kind of similar to mindfulness, but it's mindfulness plus, 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 because what actually is happening is that the higher energy of the divine is actually moving down through this conduit, through my higher self-witness consciousness, and is actually offering the fear what it needs. So I'm coming into contact with the fear, listening to the fear, noticing how much the fear can open. Maybe it's hesitant. So what does it need to actually open? And then when it opens, what actually happens, and this is what's so magical, is that the divine wants nothing more than to meet the fear fully, 100% or more, as much as the fear can handle. And then the energy of the fear dissolves. The memory might still be there. The thing that's happening in the world is still there, but my energetic being is softened because that fear is no longer leading. And then I can come back and I go, okay, well, that thing is happening, but I don't feel the same charge inside of me because I feel more an alignment with this divine energy. And then usually what will happen is that I'll say a prayer or I'll go into transmission. I'm an oracle as well. And so I'll receive a message from Mary Magdalene or Divine Mother or whatever. And then that helps me stabilize even more. So that's what I do. And that's what I teach others to do as well.
Melissa, that was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I kind of made a boo-boo, agenda-wise. We were going to go to Renee and Anthony next. And I got excited and I jumped to our panel discussion, but I'm glad that I did, in that we got that amazing download really from Melissa on managing what, and honestly, I guess I was just so anxious to ask that question, because it's like the big question of our times of how do we manage ourselves when it gets hard, because it is hard out there. So we will get back to our panel discussion and maybe more responses to that question and certainly your questions. But I'm going to go back to where we were in the original agenda, which means I'm going to go to Renee and Anthony next. And thank you, Melissa. That was brilliant.
Thank you.
Anthony and Renee, hello, you two. But you know, maybe if you had a response to that same question, we could start with that if that had come up for you.
Yeah, I think it's in many ways similar to what Melissa said, in the sense of going to our higher self, because I think a lot of times when we plug into fear, and there's a lot of it going around out there right now in the world and in the United States, everyone's feeling these triggers. We're seeing it in the chat, here as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's bubbling up to the surface for all of us. And I think, in the whole quantum world of looking at things, we're taught by our guides, which are primarily Yeshua, Magdalene, and the Ascended Masters, that we're mirrors towards everything. And so when that fear is coming up and we mirror it, right, it accentuates it, it strengthens it, because we're giving it oxygen. And if you don't give it oxygen, it can't exist. That doesn't mean the trigger is not going to be very real for our human selves, right? Our human selves. But once we kind of go into that place, and I love the way that Melissa described it, you go into that divinity space where you allow your higher self to come through. Because, it's interesting with the book, we've been out there a lot with the book lately, and in places where we can't really talk about channeling like we can do here so openly, because everyone's so open to it. And so we often talk about that really what we're channeling is our higher self. So when we can get silent and go to that place, we allow the divine to work through us and calm our spirit, calm our place of trepidation and fear and angst, and really just like quiet to a space of stillness. And when we're in that space of stillness, everything kind of dissolves, right? The Buddhists teach that, right? You don't try to resist it or fight it. You just shine light on it, and then it really does dissolve, pretty much what Melissa had said, right? It dissolves and it becomes soft. And the trigger goes away. So everything, the chaos is still happening around us, but we're not reacting to it, right? We're seeing it. As Yeshua always tells us, there is no evil. He'll say that all the time. You want to?
I think for me, on a personal note, and I think this is unique for every individual, how you deal with fear and chaos. For me personally, what I do is I have a variety of different activities that I will participate in, and it helps me to regulate my nervous system. I will not go into the idea of fear, because it doesn't serve me at all. It doesn't serve Renee. It doesn't serve our relationship. It certainly doesn't serve humanity.
It doesn't serve our community, because if we're untethered and we're spiraling, then everyone's going to feel that around us. So we need, as I think, we're all spiritual teachers here, we need to maintain the calm. I feel on so many levels, it's like we're being prepared for this time that when things start to spin, we just realize and remember who we are. Remember that we're spirit. Remember that we're love. Remember that we're the divine, that we are God. We are goddess. And from that place, almost imagine that your light is so bright that it just bounces off you. It doesn't absorb into your auric field. It just bounces off because, you are light. And when you know that, it doesn't get into your auric field and stick, right? It just bounces off you. That's really what they show you also when you're in full channel.
In a manner, yes, that's what they show me.
Yeah.
Again, from my own personal experience, from all of the years of meditation and a lot of I love doing lots of exercise, which keeps me very grounded. It helps to relax my nervous system and my body. And I try not to focus too much on the negative aspects of the world. And I try to be more a part of, I guess, the heart-centered activities and focus on the positive aspects that we're doing. Because I really see the positiveness, the positivity in humanity more than I do see the negative. And I think that's what we're doing here this evening.
I know. And Magdalene will tell us all the time, it's all a perception. So when we think about it as theater, then it doesn't have the same charge, right? It's outside of us. It's a perception.
Really find the love in every aspect of life and in all people and in all things. It's a process, and it is definitely a practice that Renee and I try to do every single day. And that's what it is to have a divinity flowing through you and spirituality. And that's what we bring into our relationship every day.
And the other thing I'll add, and I'm sure Heather and Donny will bring this up too, is music. The frequency of different vibrational music can really just bring you back to that higher self place to help you remember who you are. And it, as Anthony brings up, calming the nervous system. But I think for all of us, it's so different, right? He's bringing up things that he does from a kind of more masculine place to like regulate his nervous system. For me, when I plug into nature, I'm focusing on something else, right? I'm not plugging into the fear grid. We teach this all the time, in our programs. Do you plug into fear or do you plug into love? It doesn't mean that we can't be aware of what's happening in the world. We have to be aware, right? We don't want another, well, I won't get political, but we have to be aware so that we know where we stand and where we take a stand, right, for humanity. But we don't have to plug into the grid. We just have to be aware of it and shine our light and shine our love. Yeah.
I'm really loving everything that you guys are saying. And, just to riff on it's all theater, it is important to remember that the current president's biggest claim to fame was he was a reality television star. And so it's the ultimate reality TV show, that doesn't mean we don't have empathy for people that are suffering. But I love that. All right, so you have written this amazing new book. So I'd love for you to tell us about the book. And I also, you talked about channeling and you referenced it as connecting to your higher self, but you're also connecting to Mary Magdalene. So where does one begin? Where's the other one? Tell us about all that.
Yeah, that it's funny because we've been on your show several times before and we've never talked about that. The truth is Mary Magdalene found us, which we say in our book. And the book is a very, very, very different kind of book than other Magdalene work out there because it's historical fiction. We don't call it channeled. So it's visionary literature, but it is our story baked into the story of Yeshua and Magdalene. So it's about this couple in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We had to throw that in there because I used to live there. So we threw like different pieces and components of our life. And one day in a deep meditative state, Mary Magdalene shows up in their living room. And that's really what happened to us, you know? And so there's this sense of shock. First of all, how is this happening? And and disbelieving that it's happening, and then going through all the stages that we went through: anger, resentment, why us, we're not religious, what's going on here, how is this physically possible? And so it really went through the different stages as the couple went through to really disbelieve that this being was coming to them, you know, and not understanding really why. And then ultimately about their journey inside Magdalene's journey to finally surrendering, and why they chose to surrender was really because the love that came through Yeshua and Magdalene on a daily basis just took over. You know, it stopped the linear thinking and the analytical why, and the fear of, you know, what are people going to think of us if we're saying that we're channeling these beings out in the world? Because, you know, remember, I came from science. So to go out with something like this, when you came from science, I worked with some of the top innovators in the world, people like Ray Kurzweil and, believe it or not, the Twitter founders. And, you know, a lot of these people I've worked with directly, and I had a lot of fear. I know Anthony also had, a, you know, not probably as much fear credibility wise as I did, but we had a lot of fear around it. And that's one of the reasons we went with this approach. And so it's really the story of one day, you know, finally Rochelle, the character, the main female character, says, "Why are you really here?" You know, in our living room every night. And finally, when the connection became clear enough, almost like a radio signal, because, you know, if you think about it, we're all energy. We are energy beings. And so once the radio signal, you know, got clear enough to connect, and this smooth, or not smooth, it was like jittery at first, 1 and 2 word utterances and just one sentences, finally, boom, right? The Magdalene came through, and she was strong and forceful and a force to be reckoned with, and wanted to speak to women about speaking their truth. And, you know, it was very Martin Luther King like, or Joan of Arc like, and it was like a tornado that had come through.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's kind of what it was like. And then one day when the signal was clear enough, she's here, you know, she says, "I'm here to tell you my life story." And that's kind of how it happened for us. So,
You know, Carol in the chat box is pointing out how that's very common. So many people have come from science into spirituality, and we're living at a time in which science and spirituality are merging and
yeah.
dancing together. Exactly. It's a very exciting and beautiful time.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a big part of our work, is bridging science and spirituality. And so, you know, we're really trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Bring people into a space where the language makes sense. Because in these circles, we can talk about quantum healing and quantum fields and 5 dimension and activations. And, but, you know, in the real world, they need, what do they need? They need love, right? They need love, all the stuff that you teach in your work, Scott, you know. And so I think it's bringing that language to people in an everyday way. And of course, in the book, it's not, you know, it's not all easy language. There is a lot of quantum stuff that comes through, you know, and it really is how it happened with us, where, you know, Anthony would get out of trance and I would say, "Did Yeshua just talk to us about quantum, you know, about black holes?" Like that, did that really just happen? It's a way to teach us about the multidimensional soul. So that was really our journey. And so it's been a long process too, I think, for it to come out, because, and, you know, Anthony can certainly speak what it's been like to fully embody. You know, when she writes through me, she takes, you know, she kind of takes over, and my hands start writing things that I don't remember later on. But, it's been a really powerful journey because we've had to surrender a lot, a lot, a lot. And it was supposed to be out, I think Christy might remember this, maybe a little over a year ago. And then there was a point in the book where Magdalene was talking about the patriarchy and how it got to a certain point in the book where she said, but it wasn't always like that.
Mm.
And so then I went down the quantum rabbit hole and the patriarchy rabbit hole. And then another year went by, right? Where, I started studying and studying and studying the goddess religions. And anyway, it took longer. It took longer because Magdalene needed that to be part of her story.
We've got quite a question for you, actually 2 questions from Dr. Laura. She wants to know how Mary Magdalene showed up to you. Did she show up as an orb of light? Did she speak to you directly? Do you actually hear her voice audibly?
Maybe later you're going to hear her.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we have
I have
time
no
to
idea.
channel.
Yeah, definitely. We would love that.
Yeah.
So
She comes,
maybe if you can answer that question, and then let's bring her in.
Yeah.
How did she come through?
I can feel her. She's wanting to come in.
Oh, good.
She well, I'm channeling now for 10 years. So probably within our 3rd or 4th year of channeling, one night in our living room, she said, "Hi, my name is Miriam of Magdal." And we're like, "Who are you?" I knew her from biblical studies, but I wasn't really familiar with her.
Yeah.
So that's really how she introduced herself. And she
Yeah.
will take hold of my auric field and she'll literally start talking through me. The way all of the other guides come through and they chit chat and they talk and they teach us. And it was like that for 9 years of just constant every single night.
Every night.
Nonstop.
Yeah.
But now it's taken a little bit of a back seat and I'm able to control the energies much easier now than before. And that's really how she introduced herself. And I have to say, as a channeler, she is by far one of the most powerful beings I have ever felt come through me in my life.
Yeah.
And she drives me. She will push you to your limits. And there are times I'm just like, I can't do anymore. And she'll say, "Anthony, stop your pity party. We have a job to do." That's exactly how she is.
Yeah. She really, she doesn't hold back. Even with me, I remember we were on a radio podcast once and she had, and he was channeling her and muted it. And she turned to me and said, "Sit up straight and speak more forcefully. You're not speaking for me." She was saying that's, you have to represent me properly and don't stand on the sidelines and be quiet.
And she really loves women. She is all about the divine feminine and the ascension of the woman voice. And that's who she is.
But she's also very gentle and loving.
Yes.
She could be very gentle and loving. And, some people who have heard Anthony channel, sometimes people have a hard time with, we've heard things in chats with why would Mary Magdalene ever come through a man?
I ask myself that every day.
So, it's funny. We were at Conscious Life Expo in LA, and I know, Scott, you were there, and we did a talk, and Anthony had brought the Magdalene through, and I asked everybody in the audience, I said, why do you think Magdalene is coming through? I mean, she comes through me too, but not in this full embodied way. So I said, why do you think she comes through a man? And I was waiting for someone, in the audience to respond. And Magdalene responded and said,
what'd she say?
"Because I can."
Oh, because I can.
And everyone just burst out laughing. But, truthfully, what I really feel the reason is because this whole program is about divine relationship and partnership. And I think personally, because I've had years to really think about this, is why isn't she coming through me in that way? And part of me thinks I wouldn't want her to come through me in that way, right? I'm a writer, I'm an artist. So she comes through me in a very different way. But the other reason, and I think it's an even bigger reason, is the power of the divine feminine is so fertile now, and it's so alive and loving and just needing to come forth in a very different way than we've had before. And if an Italian man from the Bronx can surrender to the divine feminine, it's a demonstration to other men who fear that power of the feminine. It's okay. We can merge.
I love that way of seeing it.
That's what I really think it is. After 10 years of doing this, I feel that it's really a demonstration to other men that, yes, surrender, this balance has got to happen.
Beautiful. Well, I would love to bring her in if that's all right.
I know I'm talking too much.
No, it's all fascinating. It's all fascinating. And
Let's bring her through.
All right. For me, channeling is, it's not a thought. I always say it's a thought with your heart. It's a feeling, a sensation. And so when you connect to your higher self, your soul self, or she says authentic self, you allow everything to be connected simultaneously. So again, when I think of her, when I feel into her, everyone close your eyes. Take a nice, deep, relaxing breath. Breathe in and breathe out. So we're gathered here this evening and we open our hearts to Miriam of Magdal, to Yeshua, and the divinity of who we are in this lifetime. We are one with God, one with Goddess, one with Source, and there's no separation. And we breathe into that. Only love is here. We let go of fear, trepidations, preoccupations, and worries. And we allow the divinity of who we are to come in. Good. I am here. It is good to see you. I am Miriam of Magdal or Magdala. I am the Magdalene, and it is good to see all of you again. What an honor and privilege it is to be here with all of you, to be in the ascension of something beautiful, to be with all of the male energies and the female energies, to be with you, Scott, as you continue on your journey and support the ascension of the female energy. I am honored and privileged to be here with all of you. I am with you all as Yeshua is as well. When the two become one, then you as humanity will know yourselves as truly divine. But don't despair. Continue to be in your communities of love and share with each other all that you have for each other. Be there for each other. Talk with each other. Feel each other. Open your hearts with each other as you're doing now. but do not despair. Love will conquer all things. It has before. It will again and again and again. The heart and love is the glue of this universe. And you, all of you, are that glue. You are the hearts. Know that. That is why I am here, to give you my messages of hope and encouragement, not to be afraid, that your guides, your energy selves are here all the time to work with you. This is the time now. Show your light. Show your Magdalene. Show the consciousness of Christ, the true love of who you are. Show that to the world, and don't be afraid. There is no time for fear. I say to all of you, be in love with yourselves and give that to others. But be not afraid, for I am with you. Yeshua is here, and you have communities that love each other infinitely. It is good to see you, Gaia. Good. I am happy with that message. I am happy with all of you as well.
Before you go away, Melissa is with us. And,
Yes.
I'm wondering, Melissa, if you have a question or if you would like to connect with this energy at this time.
Because I'm sure Yeshua would like to come through too, I think.
Okay, good.
I just have to say, as you were speaking, I was getting a prelude. I didn't have necessarily the same exact words, but I knew what you were going to speak because she's flowing. It's so beautiful, actually, being in the presence of another Magdalene channel. The thing that just keeps on resonating when it came through your mouth, it just was like ding, and it just wants to be spoken again. When the two become one. When the two become one, this is what we are all being asked to do. The two become one. This is enlightened partnership. The external aspect of the male-female dance is a part of that. The internal male-female dance is a part of that. The unified, divine, human two becoming one, we actually step into the divine human consecration of who we truly are. So this is her, she's, just to clarify, she's coming through. I'm still present, but she's coming through, and just wanting to add that this is the deepest essence of the enlightened partnership, the two becoming one. And this is what we're being invited into in our ascension and our ascension, the divinity coming into our being. This is the essence, the quintessence of enlightened partnership.
Well said. I
Sister.
feel you.
Well said, sister.
Sister.
Do you want to also speak about the Trinity a little bit?
The Trinity.
Yeah, because we talked about the two becoming one, but then the three becoming the two, becoming the one.
In truth, all things become one.
Yeah.
The higher self, it's the authentic self, the soul self. When you begin to feel that true essence of you, that is when all things become one and you connect to all.
Yeah. So
there are so many different ways that it's going to come to you and manifest.
do you also want to explain how we explain it in the book also, where when we become the one, we become our higher self, we bring the thread through, that's your frequency.
Yes, I can explain that.
Okay.
Good. Simply by surrendering who you are in this lifetime, surrendering yourself to God, Goddess, Source, universal consciousness. When you do that, you allow everything to come through you, to be with you. In truth, I will say to all of you, you really already are there. You have just forgotten it. But it is up to us, as light workers, as you say, to remind people of who they are, the wholeness, the fullness, and completeness of the soul, of the oneness already. I am only but one hair of essence and energy that connects to you.
Think of it as a frequency that you're calling in, as Heather and Donny so beautifully did with their music. You're calling in the frequency of Yeshua and the frequency of Magdalene.
That is true.
Yeah.
Good. It is good to see all of you.
Yeah.
1 second.
Does Yeshua want to? I think
Yes.
Yeshua will come through also.
Because this is a show of divine masculine and
Yeah.
feminine coming together as one, Yeshua will come as well. We worked together as one. And my story is that we were together. We healed together. And I prepared him. I will not be shy about that.
I love
Prepared him
that.
for that. I
Well,
prepared.
you know what they say, behind every great Messiah, there's a great
There is
Magdalene.
always a woman greater, isn't there? My good friend. All of you should know that. And let it be known again. 1 second, please. Yeshua will come. It is an honor and privilege to be with all of you. Only
Thank
say the word and I will come to you. Do
Thank you.
not be afraid. We all have work together to do.
Yeah.
1 second, please.
Yeshua's energy is very different, and he, she, it, right? They may come to you in a different way, but for us, Yeshua's energy is almost more feminine in a way. It's very gentle, like almost dreamy, very gentle, pure love.
It is good to see you, Gaia. I know why I'm here.
He's the best marriage counselor ever. It is true. We didn't mention that earlier, but if we do have any issues, we call Yeshua through.
I
I
love
am
it.
Yeshua. Ani Yeshua. I am here.
Hmm.
Om Devashimaya. Om Devashimaya. I say to all of you. Peace be with you all. Grace and gratitude be with you all. And above all things, love be with you. And share those qualities of who you are as a human being to others and to oneself as well. Do not be afraid, as Miriam has said. All is well. All will be taken care of. But do not fear, for love is always with you. God, Source, the consciousness human is always here. Universal consciousness is here. Enjoy the journey. It is beautiful.
Scott, do you have any questions for Yeshua?
First of all, thank you, Yeshua, for being with us. And I mean, you just delivered the most important thing, is to trust and love. Is there anything you can say about how the planet is evolving and how the human species is evolving?
Yes, God. I know you worry so much. All of you. Oh, Scott, my dear friend, I can see only love. I can see only kindness and goodness in all humanity. And I do see the earth evolving and receiving glory and peace. It will come again. Do not worry, but stay on your journeys, all of you. Humanity, as I always say, is much kinder, more gentle, and loving than ever before. You need only go into your history books, and you will see the difference, how kind you all are. Remember, what happens here is happening around your planet exponentially, like never before.
Do you want to talk about how it's just really what we need is such a small percentage of this unity consciousness to be in movement to shift the
A
world?
percentage,
Yeah.
yes. Not much. It doesn't take much to move a mountain. Hearts, positive thoughts, goodwill. But remember, I'm here again, not to create miracles, but for you, all of you, to create miracles now. And again, not in my name, but in your name, in the name of love and justice, righteousness. Be courageous, fearless. Show the world who you are. Show the world your light and your love. And that is the true energy of humanity. There is more of this, Mr. Kantamas. Much more than what you see on your television screens and on your phones. They don't show you this, the love, but they should. But they don't because they're afraid. You show them, all of you, your light and your love. I see it. I see only light and love. Very good.
Beautiful.
Is that good, Gaia?
Very good. I'm going to read some comments. Ayada in the chat box says she has tears right now. Kiki is sending love. Tim writes, you have no idea, or maybe you do, how relevant this is for me and my wife right now. Susan writes, incredible. Tiara writes, our divine self child encompassing our sacred divine masculine and sacred divine feminine, the Holy Trinity. And more comments coming in of appreciation for this beautiful sharing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Renee and Anthony. Thank you, Yeshua and the Magdala.
Thank you.
Peace be with you, with all of you. I will step back.
And have Anthony be Anthony again.
Yes, I will let Anthony's light shine a little bit brighter now.
We look forward to the triumphant return of Anthony.
There you go, my good sir. Laugh and be joyous and have humor.
And that is one of the things that you did tell us for 2025 is to have more fun and have more joy, laugh more. And now I know why. It's happening around us. And Yeshua always says, if you're not having fun on a spiritual path, then you're not on your spiritual path. Sometimes I think we take too much on, especially as healers. We need to give to ourselves too. But for you to create miracles, yes. The second coming is the Christ consciousness through all of us. That's the second coming.
I think so, yeah.
It's here already through all of us. Yeah, through all of us. And, it's a big part of the book, a big part of the message of the book. In fact, this is a funny thing because we brought up 22 earlier because this is 222. There was a point in the book where we had 20 chapters, not 22, and I wanted 22. And someone said, or my editor actually, she said, well, Magdalene didn't bring up anything about the prostitution. So we went back to Magdalene and she said, I don't want to talk about that. That's not the important part of my message. My message, you know, is not that. And so anyway, she, you know, if those of you who work with her know, she said, well, I will address it then briefly. And that's what became chapter 1. It's a very, very, very short chapter. And it's just a monologue with her. And this is what she says, and I just loved it. This is how much attention she gave it. She said there was a point where she had to leave home because her father wanted to marry her off to someone she didn't love. And so she left home. And then she was, you know, trying to make money for a while. And she said when she was propositioned by a man, she accepted to make money for about 6 months. And then this is how much energy and oxygen she gives it. She said, I ask you all this. How many of you had sex and experimented with sex, you know, for fun or for experience before you married? She said, you know, you might have done it for fun and joy. I did it because I had to. Don't judge me and don't judge other women. That's
Right on. Absolutely.
end. And then she goes, just, you know, she continues. And I love, because I still remember the voice of resolve that she had when she said that. It was literally like, we are not going to give this any more energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that in her book, that a lot of what, you know, society has gotten wrong about her and Yeshua, she's here to correct.
I want to show people the book, and you can find it, you can read about it at magdalensjourney.com. That's the name of the book. It's also the name of the website, magdalensjourney.com. I've put it into our chat box, of course. This has been amazing, and we're way, way over time, and we still have more to do. No, it's been
channeling. I know it always takes a little more.
It's been fantastic. And I think to integrate all of this, the best way to integrate, and that's why we always do it on this show, we always have music. We hear amazing things, and then we have music. And so to integrate this beautiful channeling and teaching, we send it over to my enlightened partner, Omashar.
I give my life into your hands. I share my love across the land. I show my trust and faith in you. I know that you will lead me through. We know that our world, it is changing faster than we can imagine. We know that our days, they are numbered. This is our wake-up call. So let's live the dream we are sharing, the one where there's love and there's laughter, where people are open and caring. We are one family. I give my life into your hands. I share my love across the land. I show my trust and faith in you. I know that you will lead me through. Look into your divine nature. Look into your lotus heart. We are the new living masters. We are the golden ones. So come one and all to the party and drink of the holy water. It's time to transcend limitation. Time to be my life into your hands. I share my love across the land. I show my trust and faith in you. I know that you will lead me through. Whoa.
That was pretty amazing. Let's go to gallery view, everybody, and give a big twinkle to our beloved Omashar.
Yeah, I tell you, Yeshua and beloved Mary Magdalene, what an honor, what an absolute honor to just be in the vibration of that and to follow it with this song. Thank you. And it's lovely to see you guys dance, Renee and Anthony. Thank you.
It was really beautiful. And it is fun to see you guys all dancing. Thank you so very much for that. It was really special. All right, now we're going to do our panel discussion. And I actually want to start with, I'm going to bring both Melissa and Christy and Donny and Heather up, actually, because I'd love to get what it's like for you, all three of you, all four, including Donny, teach Mary Magdalene, channel Mary Magdalene, do events around Mary Magdalene. So what comes up for you? Anything you want to riff on? What was similar? What's different? What comes up for you and what we just experienced? And popcorn style to all of you.
Well, I'll jump in here because Scott, you knew me before Magdalene.
I did.
And now and I think you saw tonight, because these people that are part of the presenters, they're all my friends.
Yeah.
This is my community, my Magdalene community. We do ceremonies together all the time. We support each other in raising the divine feminine. We've worked together over the years. Now this is the 15th year. So there's a deep sense of trust and love. And Heather and Donny and I were at the ordination where I got ordained as a priestess of Mary Magdalene at Isis Oasis on 10/10/10. And I was in an altered state of bliss. And I was like, what is going on? How come I'm so happy? And we were all dressed up as goddesses and doing dancing and singing, and it was just glorious. I mean, put in the chat if you did not have a moment of joy on this call, that from when you first logged on to where you are now, is your frequency and energy not higher? Are you not happier? Just put in the chat. Tell us how it is impacting you. And so when I went back to my room with this, pondering this question, why am I so happy? I randomly opened A Course in Miracles and my eye caught this sentence, and it says, all separation vanishes. What are we in right now? We're in a separate, polarized world. All separation vanishes when we share that which is holy. For holiness is power. And when we share it, it gains in strength. And that's why I speak to the Global Peace Tribe, because there's no gaining in strength without you guys being here with us. And without my friends being here. And what are we doing? We're sharing holy power. We're allowing each, Heather and Donny gave a heart. It was like nectar that I drank listening to their beautiful music and the beautiful channeling that Renee and Anthony did. I mean, each gift was so rich. It was so enlivening. The chat was going off big time, you know, because holiness is power, and that's the power that we want. That's the real power. And so when we share it, it gets stronger. And as we get empowered by it, as it strengthens us, guess what happens? We get an awakened world, right, Scott? That's why I'm on the top of the mountain and I'm shouting it from the mountaintops. we have to support Scott in letting the Global Peace Tribe grow and expand and keep showing up and keep offering your gifts and come back. And people watching on Facebook and YouTube, come on in, come on in. The water is great. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Donny and Heather, go to you. What comes up for you?
Sure. Well, the path, and it was been so explained so beautifully, is really the path of the heart and the path of love and inclusiveness and kindness. And so we, offer a sacred space in person as well as online, where like our moon temples start to say, this is a sacred space and we're here to do spiritual work. And everyone is welcome. And please leave your politics outside. I have everyone actually sign something right now to come into our room. And what we cultivate together in the room through our intention, through music, through the teachings, everyone feels the elevation and the sense of calm and beauty, and seeing the beauty in each other. Because there's so much going on in the world, but we also need to have these beautiful spaces where we're cultivating love, cultivating compassion, and raising our frequency together and envisioning, seeing, what are we focusing on? Seeing, as the 13 grandmothers say, cast that net of light around the world and stand on that net of light, extend a helping hand up. I feel like we need to take the time to cultivate that energy as well. And that's what we've been committed to in all of our programs. So I feel like I'm a sacred activist as well, but obviously, being a Black woman of color, there's lots going on, and I like leading from the heart, from love, and trying to have understanding of everybody's perspective, reasons why they're making decisions or believing certain things. But coming together in community is nectar for my heart and soul, and it helps me to rise above all of the veils of illusion and confusion that would separate us, so that we can have more harmony and beauty and unity.
I like to add that one of the big takeaways I got from being around Christy back in the day, a while ago, is that the sheer importance of the divine feminine merging with the divine masculine and coming together to create peace on this planet. We need each other. We really need each other. We need that connection, and when we can bring, because it's just incomplete when it's one or the other. It's not about the women, it's not about the men, it's about the union. And as that union takes place, magic happens, and that was, it got reiterated with Yeshua and Magdalene, and it's a true essence is that we really do need each other. And to really, through that love, we start to bring in our own divinity. And as we acknowledge our divinity and we own it, we really start to bring more balance to the planet. It's such a, Scott, you've created something so magical, to create this community online at that, not even in person, but it's online, which means we can gather from great distances, like the Magi, and we can really share this space, and be in the divine presence of each other and support this community that really is part of the solution. It's so crucial on this planet right now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Donny and Heather. Thank you. I want to go to Melissa, and then we'll go to Karina and Darren.
Can you repeat the question, or at least?
Well, at this point, whatever's alive for you, whatever you wish to share.
Well, I remember something about the question being connected to, Anthony's channeling and what was coming through both of them. And, for me, it was such a profound reflection. It was almost like there was a magnetic energy that was going back and forth, because not only was I feeling it and sensing it before he would speak, but I also just, my heart filled up so much at the honor of being an oracle for the Christ family and for others that are connected to the Christ family. Because what happens for me is that I get the information first. I get the download first, and it plays such a huge role in my teaching. Yes, I'm a healer and I teach a certain form, but I might be teaching for, 2 hours on something, and then they come in and the room just, there's so much energy and presence and love and connection. And I absolutely agree that we are all being asked to be the Christ, to step into that vaster energy of unification where there is no separation, or we can feel that inside and then bring that out into the world, both in our relationship, masculine, feminine, and our inner relationship, masculine, feminine, and again, in our human divine unification. Because when that happens, we, or at least I can talk for myself as well as the other students and patients that I've worked with in this, but when that happens, then what occurs is that we start having awakening experiences of understanding, not just from the mind, but actually feeling, sensing, intuiting that we are one, that we are unified. It's not just a new age thought, it becomes a reality. And when we know that reality, because we've lived it, because we've experienced it, then everything changes. We realize, oh, wow, this is just an illusion, because actually we are all unified. We're all connected. We already are love. We're just remembering our way back to it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Karina and Darren, we haven't been with you for a little while. There's a lot that's gone on tonight. So this is your time. Whatever you two would like to share, because we've heard less from you than anybody else. So I want to give you some time now.
Well, thanks. We'll catch up. Yeah, so much has happened since we had our last share, and I feel a lot moving through me. And the transmissions that the other people have brought through are so activating and so resonant. And Yeshua also has been channeling through me quite a bit. And what I really am hearing is that what we ever perceive in this world as being wrong, or we perceive as being that we're afraid of, it's really important to know that that power is within us, and that it's the denial of that that brings the fear. And that it is not only us as individuals acknowledging this light and this divinity, that's always the first step, but it's that there's a mass movement that is already existing, and that, Scott, you are so much contributing to, and each person who's talking is contributing to. And that mass movement is the second coming. And that I feel like the blame for the things that seem to be wrong in our society, and we certainly have thought about those a lot, is not as much with those perpetrators doing that as the light workers denying our own light and glory. And that stepping back from that, probably due to persecution wounds from the past that many of us haven't thrown off yet. So what Donny and Heather and other people who are offering these sacred healings, and Melissa and everybody is speaking, is we're just like helping to midwife or to birth others and ourselves at the same time, into stepping out of those old wounds and identifying with them, and knowing that the power of this light movement is so much greater than anything. And when Yeshua was speaking through Anthony before, and he said, there's nothing to fear, there's nothing to worry about. It's not so much because somebody in heaven's going to come and save us. It's because we are such an unstoppable movement of light.
And
Beautiful.
the Aquarian age that we're moving into, we always, we're all saying the same thing. The second coming is a group event, and it is the community and the connection and having like-minded. The most wonderful thing of having a spiritual partner is that you're constantly fed this energy, and that enhances it together. We pray together, we do healings together, we activate each other.
Yeah.
you know, he needs what I have and I need what he has in a sense of being balanced and integrated and powerful in the sense. So it's really having that group community connection. And when you're in a partnership, you have that together. It's so feeding and nourishing and awakening within you. And he tells me, you know, don't talk about that now. Or he shows me and I show him when he's off, or in this channel, he's more of a channel, although I do it too, is my one of my favorite things about our relationship. It's like having this inner guidance, and that is definitely a marriage counselor, definitely we get marching orders. And so having this, living from that higher perspective and having the shared mission of helping people evolve and grow. I've studied the hero's journey and the goddess warrior, and my most excited aspect is embodied radiance, which is embodied as warrior and radiance is the goddess. And this is that symbolism has been diving into it, has the great waters and a step-by-step process. So it's my goal is always to be improve and help others improve and be the best person I can be. And my experiences of enlightenment have been these states of being love for extended periods of time, where when you're truly in your high self and the flow and trusting, it is glorious. And to me, embodied radiance is how you bring that, you know, find that again, rather than it was always a gift. It came and it stayed for a week or two and then would leave. But it's finding that way back through process, through togetherness, to living that high self and trusting and being what love is the key.
Love is the key. And you're
Love is-
truly an embodiment of love. That's your superpower.
Thank you.
Love is the key.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, I want to remind people a little bit about, I'm going to bring everybody up, and one more time, we'll take a look at some of their websites and some of the ways to connect with them. I'm going to bring up all of our participants. Who are we missing? Anthony and Renee. Where are you? There they are. So, you know, remember that an enlightened partnership can be any number of things. I was going to talk about my relationship with Jasmine Bear, and she just went under the bed. But, you know, I have an enlightened partnership with my dog. She teaches me all about love. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways to learn lessons of love. I certainly appreciate all the ways we've heard tonight. So, in no particular order, again, all things Donny and Heather are at blackswantemple.org, blackswantemple.org. And again, they've got a beautiful retreat site. If you're ever going to the Hawaiian Islands, book your time on the jungle side of Maui, not the tourist side, but where it really is like you're in the jungle, but yet you've got all the amenities that you need. They have a beautiful, beautiful home there. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. Check out their mystery school, their sacred travel, going to Egypt in October. And of course, you heard today their amazing sound healing experiences. So that's where you find Donny and Heather. And our new friend, Melissa, her amazing Sacred Healing Academy. And the actual website is sophiahealingacademy.com. sophiahealingacademy.com. And she's got a beautiful practitioner program. And a reminder that she has put together a special offering for us Awakening World people. Her 3-day live immersive event, March 21st to the 23rd. Go to SophiaHealingAcademy.com and use the coupon Homecoming Special to save half off. HomecomingSpecial.com. And Christy has her amazing Mary Magdalene feast. I clicked on Magdalene and I got, here it is. There's a whole lot of Magdalene going on in my Zoom room here. Christy, do you want to share people a little bit about your annual feast?
A 7-day online summit, because my book is coming out. Keep scrolling down, Scott. And so you can sign up for the newsletter there. And then if you want to be a part of the 7-day summit, this is to help address bringing the balance in, because a lot of what's happening with the rise of white Christian nationalism is not including the Magdalene. And so in order to tell her story, which is a prophecy in the Bible that Jesus asked us to remember and discuss what she has done wherever, it says wherever the gospel is taught. Well, we know wherever the gospel is taught, she is not being remembered and discussed. So we go through and break it down for people and explain about the anointing and explaining about the Last Supper and her presence there and all the wonderful, amazing things that she did that caused her, and why Jesus, his genius, his brilliance, was he appeared to her because he was trying to demonstrate that women are equal. We are equal in spirit. We're both the same life, male and female. It's equal. So it's going to be a wonderful 7-day summit where you can get bits and pieces, and it'll end on the full moon. Donny and Heather are involved, and and Melissa will be channeling Magdalene. And Darren and Karen are going to be helping with it. So it's like we're all going to be a part of it. It's because this is my community, and that's what we do. We come together as a community. So all separation vanishes and holy power gains in strength. Thank you.
Beautiful. And speaking of Darren and Karina, Karina's website, formerly Karen LaPuma, soul-source.org, soul-source.org. And Karina, do you want to share anything about what your offerings are right now?
I'm publishing a book called Awaken Magnetic Creation. I have a series of books called A Toolkit for Awakening. And my new website, it's a new site. So it's soul-source.org/new site. And with a dash between new and site. And this is, this is more of an author website, and I'm doing more empowerment work with women to teaching best what I have learned, and doing more oracle work and the embodied radiance. So my series of books is called A Toolkit for Awakening. There are 3 books now, Awaken Female Power and Awaken to Tarot. I've created a Tarot book took 30 years, and I have my own deck, Awaken Tarot cards. These are available through my website right now. So I'm also going to be teaching an embodied radiance course in the fall.
Yes.
Beautiful. All right. And again, her website, her new website, I'll go to it again. Here we go. Is soul-source.org/new-site, SITE. And there is beautiful Karina. And that's where you can find all of these things. These beautiful. I've known Karina for for decades. And she's a brilliant, I knew her as a brilliant astrologer. She was my favorite astrologer for a long, long time. And I just appreciate, Karina, all of your dedication. I've known you for over 40 years now. And you've always been dedicated to spiritual growth and supporting your community. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And of course, we want to go to Darren next. I had you up here. Here he is. And so Darren, we of course have had on recently. Loved what you presented on our Sacred Sunday show a few months ago. And you really are helping people to connect quantum healing. So share with us a little bit about your offerings.
Well, thank you, Scott. What I've been most passionate about now is helping people who are already helping other people, who are healers, who are coaches, who are light workers already, to step into spiritual leadership. And so I have courses right now, and I've helped hundreds of people who are holistic health professionals, acupuncturists, spiritual teachers, to really elevate to their next level and to feel what their mission is, what their purpose is, perhaps in a way that was not that clear before. And so I lead these courses called the Quantum Master Course that are 14-week programs where we get together on Zoom and have these very in-depth experiential, like heart-opening classes. There's a lot of tears, a lot of laughter, a lot of just initiations. And then we get together in person at a retreat center where like the whole thing is like, totally transcendent and very, healing. So I have another one of those coming up starting in May. And aside from that, I'm also writing a new book about spiritual leadership called Super Conscious Leadership. And I've been very engrossed in that. And the last book I wrote, which is this one, Awakening the Avatar Within, I must admit, I only wrote half of it. Yeshua wrote the other half and, impulsed me when I'd be walking out in nature and, when I'd feel like I had writer's block, he would just come in and tell me exactly what to say. And those are actually the best parts of the book, I must admit. And that book there's been about 6,000 copies sold, and it's helped to a lot of people to awaken. So that's really my passion. And now Karina and I are moving into this shamanic training, the 6-month training, because I've always felt this deep, like my past lives as a Native American, like the shamanic energy that comes through. And I feel like it's time to go deeper in that part of my work now, to integrate it with the quantum work. And that just feels like what is most inspiring for me. I just love seeing people blossom, and they have those aha moments and those awakening experiences where they just know that they can heal with much less techniques and much less efforts. They are embodying that quantum healing.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Darren. And I know that all of you are going to be on the show again soon. And last time I want to go to Renee and Anthony's website. And again, their website is right here, and it's bluesoulearth.com. And again, you can find out all about their events, their retreats, their offerings, the books, Magdalene's Journey that we've spoken so much about today. All things Renee and Anthony are at their website. And again, here's their brand new book, Magdalene's Journey. And how wonderful that you kind of share your journey in such a creative way that I think people are going to really enjoy. So thank you very much. There they are. All right. Well, we are going to conclude the show the way we always do, or ideally always do, and that is through beautiful, beloved Omashar. So thank you, everybody. It's been an amazing show, and here is Omashar.
Oh.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am. when I lose myself, when it seems I have lost my way, then I go inside and I quiet my mind. I can hear spirit gently say, there is only love, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. Then I go inside and I quiet my mind, and I open my eyes and see that there's only love, there is only love, love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
Yes, Dr. Laura, it is the perfect, beautiful way to end the show with Omashar, who is Omastar, reminding us that there is only love. Thank you so much. A lot of other things. Heather and Donny have a sound healing through the chakra initiation beginning February 28th. Renee and Anthony are putting together a trip to France to explore all of the magic there of Mary Magdalene. And we do want to send our love to Darina in Bulgaria. Absolutely sending love to you, Darina. And we will be back on Wednesday night with a new show. And I am really looking forward to continuing. And if you haven't registered for the spring season, do so now. Go to globalpeacetribe.com. It's easy. It takes about 2 minutes to register. Let's grow the tribe. And for those of you that are regulars that are with us all the time, tell your friends, bring friends. Remember that when you subscribe at the gold or higher level, you can give free subscriptions. Just send me their email address and their name, and I'll pop them on the subscribers list. All right, everybody. Thank you very, very, very much. And have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the weekend. And remember, tomorrow is Sunday, and let's make it a sacred Sunday by choosing to see the divine in all. Much love to each and every one of you, and thank you for another beautiful, beautiful show. Good night, everybody.